Breaking overnight, a holiday calm and rest was marred by violence across Philadelphia. It started with the deadly ambush of a father and his 9-year-old son. Action News reporter Catherine Scott is live at police headquarters with the new information. Good morning, Catherine.
Good morning, Tim. That's right. The little boy was only 9 years old. His father died as well. Detectives here at the Homicide Division continue to investigate, trying to track down the people behind this. In this video from Wissinoming last night, you can see bullet holes lined across the car. The windows of the car shot out. This happened shortly after 10:30 p.m. on the 2100 block of Carver Street. Police say the 37-year-old father and his 9-year-old boy had just parked near their home. They were still sitting in the car when a dark-colored vehicle, possibly an SUV with at least 2 shooters inside, opened fire on the vehicle, firing at least 13 rounds. Arriving officers rushed them to area hospitals where they were both pronounced dead a short time later. Homicide detectives are gathering evidence, looking for a more detailed description of the shooters and the vehicle they were firing from.
The vehicle was struck multiple times, as were 2 houses in the backdrop, and it appears after the shooters who began shooting at the vehicle as they were approaching it, they continued shooting at the vehicle as they were driving away.
Police are also checking nearby surveillance cameras to see if they can find any footage to learn more about who could be behind this and just anything leading up to this shooting. We are live at police headquarters. Catherine Scott, Channel 6 Action News.
Back to that breaking news this morning. A gunman opens fire into a party of more than 100 people, leaving 2 people dead and 2 others hospitalized. Police say a 16-year-old girl and a 21-year-old woman were shot and killed at Delaware Avenue and Tioga Street in the Port Richmond section of the city. Meantime, a 14-year-old girl and another 21-year-old man are recovering today in the hospital.
A 16-year-old female and a 21-year-old female who both sustained fatal injuries. They were both deceased at the hospital. A 14-year-old female was dropped off at the hospital by a private vehicle, shot in the shoulder, and a 21-year-old male was found a block away, sustaining multiple gunshot wounds to his leg.
Police tell us they're now looking for 2 people in connection to this shooting. And all right, to some breaking news now from overnight. A man is dead after an early morning shooting in West Philadelphia. Eyewitness News on scene here just after 6 o'clock this morning near 50th Street and Westminster Avenue. That's in the city's Mill Creek section. Police tell us they found a man with a gunshot wound there and took him to Penn Presbyterian Medical Center, where he was later pronounced dead. No word yet on any suspects.
New tonight, 2 women leaving a church are hit by gunfire and wounded this morning, and a 34-year-old man is killed. It happened near North 21st Street and Shelton Avenue on the border of Germantown and West Oak Lane. Police believe the man was the intended target and the women were innocent bystanders. The 62-year-old woman is listed in critical condition. The 57-year-old is stabilized. And in the last few hours, police responding to yet another deadly shooting. Investigators say 2 people were shot in Kensington along Kensington Avenue just before 5:30. A 30-year-old man was killed. A 25-year-old woman was wounded.
Shooting, just the latest in a series of deadly shootings over the last 13 hours. Since 4 o'clock yesterday, 14 people were shot and 6 people were killed, including a 9-year-old boy and his father in Philadelphia's Wissinoming neighborhood. Eyewitness News reporter Ross DeMattei is live for us this morning and has more details on this investigation. Ross.
Yeah, just a horrible story, Jan. Police say that this father and son were just sitting in their car after parking near their home when they were gunned down in a drive-by shooting. Police were first called around 10:30 last night for reports of gunshots on the 2100 block of Carver Street. And when officers got there, they found a father and a son suffering from multiple gunshot wounds each. The 2 were taken to nearby hospitals where they were pronounced dead just minutes apart. The 9-year-old just before 11 p.m. and his 37-year-old dad just after 11 o'clock. Police believe the 2 had just parked near their house and they were sitting in the front seat of their vehicle when at least 2 shooters inside of a dark vehicle, possibly an SUV, opened fire on them, shooting at least 13 rounds and hitting both victims multiple times. As of last night, police were still searching for the shooters and the motive behind this shooting.
Investigators are combing the neighborhood to see what private surveillance cameras might be on this block and also nearby, around the corner, etc., that may have captured more information about the suspects that we're looking for at this time, and also the incident.
And police have not yet released the names of the father or the son, the victims in this case, nor have they said if any arrests have been made or if they know the motive leading up to this shooting. At last check, investigators were combing through that neighborhood looking for any surveillance cameras to answer those unanswered questions. Reporting live, Ross DiMattei, CBS 3 Eyewitness News.
All right, Ross, thank you so much. Breaking news from overnight now, 2 teenagers and a 63-year-old man are injured in a drive-by shooting in Philadelphia's Logan section. Eyewitness News reporter Waukesha Bailey joins us live again from police headquarters with the latest on the investigation and an update on the victims. Waukesha, good morning.
Yeah, good morning, Jan. Well, police are telling us that the victims are expected to be okay after being transported to a nearby hospital where they remain in stable condition. Now, this morning, police say that they are looking for the gunman, but they need the public's help. So here's video from overnight where police say the target was a 17-year-old who happens to live with his grandmother on the 16th Street in the West Logan neighborhood. At the time of the shooting, the 17-year-old and his 16-year-old friend were sitting outside when the gunman drove by firing shots from a red SUV. The 2 teens were struck and a 63-year-old man was also shot in his home, and police say he lives next door to the target. And police say the 3 victims were transported to a nearby hospital.
We have a 16-year-old male who's shot in the back. There was a 17-year-old male shot in the leg and his genitalia, and we also have a 63-year-old male who is shot in the hand. Everybody is in stable condition at this time.
And police have not disclosed if they're looking for more than 1 suspect. So we will continue to follow this story, and as we know more details, we'll be sure to pass them along to you. Reporting from outside police headquarters, Waukesha Bailey, CBS 3 Eyewitness News.
We know you will, Waukesha. Thank you so much. Appreciate that.
To the latest now on gun violence in Philadelphia. The police are investigating a homicide in North Philadelphia. A 49-year-old man was shot in the back on North Phillip Street. It happened just after 9:30 this morning. Police say the victim died at Temple. The shooter has not been arrested. 3 people were shot early this morning in the Logan section of Philadelphia. Police say a 16 and a 17-year-old were sitting outside a home on North 16th Street when shots were fired from a passing SUV. A round went into the house and hit a 63-year-old man inside. All 3 victims are in stable condition. Police have not made any arrests. Well, the latest now on gun violence in Philadelphia. Tonight we are talking about a 4-year-old boy who police say shot himself in his hand after his father allegedly left him in a car with a loaded gun while he got a haircut. This happened along the 4200 block of Fairmount Avenue in West Powelton around 6 this evening. Police say the child was inside a car when he shot himself in the left hand. The child's grandmother rushed him to Children's Hospital, according to police. And then police say they recovered the gun and a spent shell casing. The father of that child will face gun and child endangerment charges.
5:02. The holiday weekend did not, unfortunately, stop the violence in our area. Philadelphia reached 200 homicides. One of the most recent victims, a 9-year-old boy and his father.
Let's get to Steve Keeley with the latest on this yet again tragic story. Steve?
Well, here we are on Memorial Day, and the people that died and fought for this country didn't die, so we'd all end up just killing each other here in the freedom of Philadelphia. But that is what's going on, and to see a veteran detective use the word staggering while he's describing the violence that is going still. This scene here, this is in Port Richmond. This is one of those many Memorial Day cookouts and parties, and this has 4 shot, 2 young girls killed, just 16 years old and 21. A 3rd young girl, 14, shot in the shoulder, and she has survived so far. A 4th man showed up about a block away, wounded as he was running away, 21 years old. This happened just past 1 a.m., the 2nd double homicide within 2 hours in this town.
Upon arrival, they found a large gathering of the Latino community down here having an impromptu party. We found 4 victims that were connected to this scene. There was a 16-year-old female and a 21-year-old female who both sustained fatal injuries. They were both deceased at the hospital. A 14-year-old female was dropped off at the hospital by a private vehicle, shot in the shoulder, and a 21-year-old male was found a block away, sustaining multiple gunshot wounds to his leg. 47 shell casings on the scene, multiple calibers, multiple weapons, apparently multiple shooters.
And multiple shooters and multiple shells at this scene just 2 hours before, and this is just awful. A little 9-year-old boy in the front seat of his car with his 37-year-old dad. Two killers don't even care as they fire into this car several times with a little 9-year-old boy just inches from his pop, and they kill both of them. A 9-year-old boy. That's the kind of depravity in this town. So 2 double homicides, 4 dead in a matter of 2 hours after an already deadly weekend. We had already hit 200 homicides before this scene. Homicide detectives tell us we're well over 200 right now. By their count, we're at all the way up to 206 right now in less than 5 full months. So all the city leaders likely away trying to enjoy their weekend, but you can bet they're getting messages about this. And so while they comment on Texas and Buffalo, they better start commenting on what's going on right on their doorstep.
Yeah, well, and we all have to remember to care. This is why we have our Save Our Streets initiative. This impacts all of us every day. And thank you so much, Steve, as always, for the information.
You tell me how you supposed to clean this up? They killing babies. They shooting at block parties. They shooting young girls. It's just pandemonium running wild, man. It's like the 80s out here, man. It's like the 80s, like a cowboy show. How do you stop it? What do you do? What do you do? I need some people going to my comment section, man. Don't watch this video and not leave a comment. Watch this video and leave a comment. I need your feedback, everybody. And make sure you hit that like button. Make sure you hit that like button, man, so this video can get out, man. All right? And if you haven't subscribed, make sure you subscribe to Uncle George. Peace.